We now have our titles in place, and the client is very happy, but he would like to see his company logo appear as a watermark whenever the lower third is used. No problem, Final Cut Pro's Compound Clip feature will allow us to create a reusable container for the graphics that can be used again and again, even in projects and other events. Option-click on the animated lower third to select it and move the playhead over it. Press X to create a range that matches the duration of the title. In the event, locate the graphics keyword collection. Inside is the H5 company logo. Select it, then press Q to connect it above the title. Enable the transform controls, then drag on the corner to scale the graphic. The scale value appears above the viewer as you drag. When the scale value is 20%, release your mouse. In the upper left of the viewer, click the Viewer Display menu and choose Show Title Action Save Zones. When adding titles to your project that are intended to be played back on a television, you want to keep your titles and graphics within a fixed area of the screen called Title Safe. The outer rectangle is called Action Safe and represents about 10% of the total image area. The inner rectangle, called Title Safe, represents about 20% of the total image area. The use of safe areas ensures that the most important elements aren't cut off on some televisions. Drag the logo and position it in the lower right corner, just inside the Title Safe rectangle. Select the graphic, then press Ctrl V to bring up the animation editor. Double-click the opacity bar, then drag out 1-second fades on the head and tail. Close the animation editor, then play back the composite.
What I do with H5 Productions and flying this aircraft is just that. It's the...
Turn off the title and action safe overlays and the transform controls. Depending on how complex your graphics or composites become, it's very possible to have many related clip items begin to stack up vertically in the timeline as connected clips. You can place all your titles and graphics into a single clip container called a compound clip to clean up your timeline. Select both the title and the logo, then right-click on them and choose New Compound Clip. A window appears asking you to name the clip. Let's call this H5 lower third with logo. Because you'll be creating an actual clip in your library, you're given a choice of what event to place the compound clip into. Choose the SaberCat event and click OK. In the timeline, a single connected compound clip appears. Compound clips can be identified by the badge in the upper left corner of the clip. Like secondary storylines, compound clips can be moved, trimmed, copied, and pasted. However, unlike secondary storylines, compound clips are meant to store many different types of clips: video, animation, graphics, audio, and photos. Just about anything you want to put into them, you can. To open the compound clip, double-click on it. Here we see the two original connected clips laid out in their own independent timeline. On the toolbar, click the Effects button. In the search field, type out Drop. The drop shadow effect appears along with two other effects that contain the word drop. Drag the drop shadow onto the H5 logo. By default, the drop shadow color is black, which is being lost against the dark background of the viewer. Open the inspector. In the drop shadow properties, click on the arrow to bring up a color picker. Move your pointer over the color field to choose a color for the shadow. Let's go with white because it will create maximum contrast. On the graphic, the drop shadow includes some on-screen controls for manipulating the shadows. Drag on the target button to move the shadow and position it behind the logo. Click and drag on the circle below to change the amount of feathering. This control is great for creating glows around your text or graphics. If you want, you can drag the handles to create perspective for your shadow. I like the glow, so I'll hit undo. Because we're making changes to the elements within a compound clip, these changes will appear in any place the compound clip is used. This means that if you use this compound clip somewhere else in the project or in another project entirely, the changes we're making here will apply to all instances of the compound clip. Click the Timeline History button in the center of the toolbar to get back to the main project. Skim over the compound clip and you'll see it now includes the glow on the logo. To locate the parent compound clip, Option-click to select the clip and park your playhead over it, then press Shift-F to reveal the clip in the browser. The compound clip is located and you can skim over it, make selections, rate it, and basically treat it like any other clip. Anytime you want to edit it, just double-click and it will open up into its own timeline where you can continue to make changes. I think the glow color would work better if it was red. When you step out of the compound clip by clicking the Timeline History button and return to the main project, the changes appear in the timeline version of the compound clip. In the next several lessons, we'll use Final Cut Pro's powerful color enhancement tools to balance, color match, and color correct our images.